Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I'll be discussing briefly my thoughts on episode 4 of the anime series Kamisama no Inai Nichiyoubi. And I was really worried going into this episode after the really emotional sort of ending of episode 3 and the seemingly sort of closing off of the first arc of this series. I was worried I wasn't going to find something to keep me invested. I was afraid it was going to kind of become an episodic adventure, that type of thing. And we're actually starting a new arc with this episode called Ordus. Now, Ordus is basically referencing the city they go to, the characters go to in this, and it is amazing. It is beautiful, it's awe-inspiring, but it is largely a country of the dead. All of its inhabitants, breaking 1 million of them, are all dead, and that's insane, especially with the fact that you have, two of this crew that end up going into this place are gravekeepers. I mean, they are going to be the wanted, public enemy number one to the inhabitants of this city, country, whatever you want to call it. They're in a lot of danger if they're found out, and already one of their inhabitants at least knows what they are, so basically, I'm referencing the kid that is sleeping in the back of their sort of VW van that they fix up and start basically their journey with. He wakes up and he's kind of drugged and he was in trouble. Somebody probably got to him, a thief or something like that. Yuri does not trust him from right off. He doesn't really like the kid, but Ai is wanting, she's taken in by the awe and wonder of the situation of this whole new world. She wants to explore, very understandably. She was pretty much kept to that small little town full of dead people wandering around under an illusion, under a sort of, misguided illusion, if you will. And she just wants to see this whole big city, this country that is full of dead. Now, what's really interesting to me is, you have this city and everybody's wearing masks in the evening time. Ai is basically accosted toward the end of the episode by someone who warns her to get the hell out of there. There is some bad side, some hidden side to this city. And I gotta wonder, who's good, who's bad, who's not. We're introduced to several characters, one being Kiriko, who is the kid, sleeping in the van that they bring back to Ordus. We have Fox and Rex, respectively, which is a sort of dual identity. I don't know if it's a transgender character or just a transvestite, somebody, who's a cross-dresser. Very interesting, intriguing character, that one. And somewhat comical in that they find Ai so adorable, that she doesn't want them to consider themselves a monster, which is the right mentality to have. But you have Scar being sort of whispered to. She's feeling sickly and she's being, inundated by a voice that she believes she's hearing. Meanwhile, Yuri goes out to fix their van. Ai takes this opportunity to go out exploring, sort of against Yuri's wishes. So you have all this setting up of something potentially dangerous going down by the end of this episode in this new city, this whole new world to Ai, as well as the other characters. They never would have set foot in there if it weren't for Ai. And you have this Kiriko kid, you know, he at first mistakes Ai for a princess, and I thought this was just sort of a joke, but he ends up going to talk to, air quotes, the princess, this girl called, or at least that he does call Erla, and she's wearing a mask that is not quite like the masks everyone else is wearing. It looks more like a punishment device or something to keep her quelled and quiet or hidden or whatever. And he's talking about bringing about a new world with her, and it makes me wonder if he has a plan, because he is so far the only one who knows, that Yuri, Ai, and Scar are respectively what they are. It's a very interesting episode, and it immediately hooked me right back into this whole story that's unfolding. I can't wait to see where it goes, where all these characters are going to crop up, who are friends and who are foes, and how it's all going to play out. I'm very intrigued by this episode. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 4 if you've seen it, and otherwise that'll be it from me, so I'll catch you later. Peace.